So much can happen in a year. My life feels nothing like it did this time 12 months ago. It all shifted once I started surrendering all my expectations and let life happen beyond my imagination.
How does this work again? This talking into the camera thing? I'm back. I know it's been a while, which is why I'm making this video, because I feel like I want to explain a few things before I kind of go back to my regular program, which is not going to be a going back, it's going to be a going forward, because it's been a while. I've evolved, you've evolved, YouTube has evolved, and so why just carry on where we left off? What's been happening? So this video is a little life update. It feels interesting to be talking to the camera again. We do get rusty with the things that we don't do regularly. So I'm in Sri Lanka currently, and I've been here for about a month. It's actually not just me, but it's me and my partner. So I'm also gonna share a little bit about that development in the relationship department. Yeah, we sort of felt like we wanted to get out of the craziness that is lockdown and COVID, and it's been amazing. I'm so happy to be here. Every single day, I'm just incredibly grateful that we took this step. And I have to say, I spent almost a year in my home country. From March until February this year. I don't regret it. I don't regret a day. It was really awesome. It was fun. It was a very healing time for me because it's the longest time that I spent in Germany, in my home country, probably since I was a teenager. So that was quite special. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my relationship with my home country. I enjoyed it thoroughly, really, to spend a lot of time with my family, with my mom, my siblings, my grandma, who is 93. Can you believe it? She's amazing. And of course, our dog, Feeny. Yeah, it was really special. I really come to appreciate where I come from for the first time, really, I think, in my life, to be honest. I've come to appreciate my culture and just being with family, and I'm really grateful. I had almost a whole year unexpectedly. I would have never chosen to spend so much time in my home country if it wasn't for the pandemic. And so yet I'm also really happy to be here because winter and lockdown and all the things was it was quite challenging. I mean, for everybody, not just for me. Nothing special here. We actually wanted to go to Bali, but we missed that window of opportunity because they opened up visa for a couple of months and then they shut it down again after Christmas, rightly so. We were waiting around, maybe they'd open up again, and then we started to consider maybe going to other places in Europe or maybe even going to Mexico or Costa Rica, but just somewhere where it's warm and especially somewhere where I could surf. Among all the things, it's probably surfing and being by the ocean and being in a warm climate that I missed the most. But now being here, it really shows me how much my body needs tropical climates, warm climates, the water, the ocean, and surfing. We learned about Sri Lanka opening up to tourism. This was at the end of January, and we hopped on the opportunity. We booked our flight straight away, applied for the visa, and committed to the 2-week hotel quarantine that we had to do upon arrival. So we made it to Sri Lanka. We checked in this morning, had a nice long sleep, and just reflected on what it took to get here during Corona times, and it's actually not that bad. I feel like it's totally doable. The whole trip went really smooth. We were upgraded to the honeymoon suite here in our first hotel. So far, feeling amazing and so happy to be here. They really came up with a very cool tourism program for during Corona times. It's called Hello Again Sri Lanka, and I think I'm gonna make an extra video about the whole process, or maybe write a blog post about it, because it was a little bit confusing in the beginning to work it all out and figure out some of the details to actually make it here. But they really organized it super well here in Sri Lanka, and so we were staying for 2 weeks in an awesome resort, but we were able to leave our room and we could hang out, by the pool. We could even go to the beach and go swimming in the ocean. So it didn't really feel like a quarantine, because it felt more like an all-inclusive holiday, if you know what I mean, which is something that some people do every year. And so I got to experience that for the first time. But yeah, and after those 2 weeks, we moved down here into the south. We now live in Waligama, and it's actually my 3rd time here. I'm, just as I said, super grateful every single day. We live in this really cool house here, very close to the beach. We can see the ocean and we can walk to the beach. It's like, I don't know, maybe 20 meters or something. It's super cool. I go surfing a lot. I just bought a surfboard the other day that was delivered down from Colombo for me from a surf shop there. Setting up our lives here in Sri Lanka. Everything's a little calm and quiet here, of course. Only a few restaurants and coffee shops open, but it's enough for us. We like it simple. Yeah, we have a few friends here, and so we're just living life and working and going about our days and our routines. Yeah, loving life here. It's really wonderful. The next news is that I recently finally launched my new course called Create As You Are. That is a course for anyone struggling with creative confidence, procrastination, and finding their voice. It's a course that will help you to gain the confidence to put yourself out there, to put your gifts out there. The feedback so far has been really, really wonderful. I offer different packages, so you can just get the course, like a self-study program, and then it's like a 5-week course. I also offer private mentoring or coaching sessions alongside the course. I'm a little proud of it, maybe, if I can say so, because it was quite a bit of work, and it took me quite a while to also overcome my own sort of perfectionism. I think is a good word to summarize the struggles that I faced as I was creating the course, which is just so normal for any creator, It's a course that really goes deep. We do a lot of shadow work in the course, so this is not something where I just give you the top 5 hacks, and it's something where we go deep, because there's too much blah blah out there. I really want to take you to places within you where you can see where your insecurities or your fears and all that procrastination really comes from, and then really heal those places, integrate those shadows, and bring them into the light, so that you can share that light and your medicine, your gifts with the world. And so that is Create As You Are, my course and mentoring program. Next up is that I trained to become a breathwork teacher and breath coach last year. That's probably one of the biggest things that I'm super, super excited and passionate about these days. I studied with several teachers and breath workers. I've been offering workshops and coaching sessions and all the things of the last few months, and it's been really awesome working with people. Just been really diving deep into how the breath works, and so my practice, my work, and everything that I share online around the breath also is really rooted in science. It's not just the spiritual idea about the breath, but really, really exploring how the breath relates and connects to our nervous system, to the stress response in our bodies, and how it can help us to release emotions and tension and also trauma. And so it's a really, really powerful practice. Let it be as a daily practice, but also, of course, as a deep dive practice. There's so many ways that we can utilize the breath, and I'm just, super passionate about sharing it with the world, with you. And if you're interested, then you can check out the link below. Come find me on Instagram, Breathwork Alchemy. And soon, hopefully, there'll be a website as well. Still working on it. I'm currently also running a 30 days of breathwork program with my good friend Johnny Miller. We had more than 100 people sign up for that, so that's been incredibly exciting as well. We're just about to finish that up. Who knows, maybe we'll run a second round at some point, but definitely watch out because I do regular workshops and sessions. I guess one of the biggest news of this past year is that I found love, or maybe love found me, but nevertheless, last July is when, well, I guess I met her. We met in June the first time around, and then we, I guess, became a couple in July of last year, and it's been a really wonderful journey. She's an amazing woman. I would say it's probably my healthiest and most grounded relationship that I've ever had. Yeah, we're doing the work together, this deep inner work, this healing work, and really supporting each other in the process, which doesn't mean that it's always easy, but it's been really healing for me after many years of a lot of dramatic relationships, unhealthy, toxic, codependent relationships. This one really feels like coming home. I guess I was only really able to draw into my life after I had fully surrendered to just not having a relationship. And I remember, I think it was in May, really reached a point of, you know what? Screw it. I'm done. No more of this drama. I'm okay with being single. I really finally fell in love with the idea again of being with myself until my cup was so full that I could meet someone else whose cup was also full. Whole people could come together and meet to create something even bigger than themselves. And I thought it was going to take a very long time, but for some reason, the universe listened, and it was like, Conni, I think it's time now to send you your woman. And so she arrived, and things were just flowed really easily from the get-go. We're now here together in Sri Lanka. It's been, just such a wonderful journey together of learning to create a conscious relationship, to learn from each other so much. And so every day I'm grateful that she's in my life and that we're here together, that we met again in this lifetime, because it feels like we've met probably several times throughout the lives of our souls. And so I'm learning so much about relationships now that I never thought was possible on that level. And I've been able to really integrate a lot of deep wounding from the past and heal those parts of myself. Just really let go of a lot of anxieties in relationships. And lastly, I developed a bit of a health issue last year in the summer. It started out with an eye infection in July or so. It was just around the time when I met my now partner. And of course, that's a very interesting sort of coincidence, right? Which I don't really believe in coincidences. So I had this allergy, which then turned into an allergic reaction because I was putting on this ointment around my eyes, and then I ended up in the hospital. I looked pretty bad. A friend of mine called me a marshmallow. It got really bad, and the doctors had to give me a full-on drug cocktail for the reaction to calm down, because it really got to the point where I couldn't see anymore, because everything was so swollen in my face and around my eyes. And it took a while for all of that to heal up. As it was healing, I sort of developed what you would call dermatitis, or a bit of an eczema in my face, especially around my eyes, but then it kind of started to develop in other areas of my face and also on my body. And it was really strange, and I couldn't explain it. But through the healing journey, because as you can see now, it's basically gone. There's only a tiny bit left that you can barely see. It's completely gone on my body. I had like some really bad patches on my arms, and also my nipples it was terrible, itchy, and just really uncomfortable and swollen. So I had skin issues before, and so I knew it had to do looking back in my history with skin issues, it had to do with internal stress or anxieties, but it was still really difficult for me to figure out what the real issue was, because here I was finding myself in this beautiful new relationship that felt so healing and beautiful, and yet all this stuff came up. It was a really, really deep journey into some deep layers once again. You know, I did quite a bit of therapy again, especially somatic therapy, somatic experiencing with a therapist in person in Hamburg last year. And just really went deep, went to see an osteopath. That really helped. Tried out a ton of supplements, as you do. I tried out, bioresonance therapy. You know, quite a few things. And it got really, really good just before we left for Sri Lanka. And then once we got to Sri Lanka, it just got better and better every day. And now it's basically gone. I also really dove even deeper into my own daily breathwork practice throughout that time, just because it was clear to me that there was something within my body I needed to connect with, and the breath is just an amazing vehicle to do so and to activate our parasympathetic nervous system to really find even more calm within. And so that really helped a ton. I experimented as well with a lot of Wim Hof breathing and taking cold showers and all of that, which was quite fun. I didn't stick to the breathing because I found it too activating for my nervous system. I was really more looking for something that was calming, but I did stick to the cold showers during the winter every single day, and I feel like that also really helped. So yeah, it's been one interesting journey. There's so much that I'd love to share about all of these things, and I probably will do so in some upcoming videos. I just really hope now that I'm kind of breaking through my own barrier of making videos again after this one. Thank you so much for watching. Sign up for my newsletter. That's probably something that I've published the most regularly over the last year, so definitely sign up to that. Link below the video. Come and do some breathwork with me if you fancy it, or check out my course, Create As You Are. And other than that, I'd love to know what's been your big happenings, big experiences, big learnings. Come and share with me in the comments below. I'd love to know, and just keep the conversation going. And I promise to hold myself accountable that there will be more videos coming very soon, within the next, let's just say, couple of weeks. How does that sound? Awesome. Lovely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. See you soon.